Charlotte, you've been a teacher for quite a while.
Yeah, I started about 3 years ago, and my first job was in Rzeszów in the east of Poland. I was promised that I wasn't going to have to teach any beginners or any little children because it was my first job, and I was promptly given the beginner infants. My first day of teaching, I was given a book which said, just go into the classroom and say hello to the children, and they'll all say hello back to you and wave. I walked into a class of 5 4-year-olds, followed by all their mothers and grandmothers. I said hello, and they all burst into tears. I spent half the lesson trying to get them to say hello to each other and stop them crying while all the grandmothers stood round and stared at me. I finally finished off by singing the whatever Happy Princess song, all on my own, with crying infants to accompany me. It was one of the worst days of my life. I could identify with all the children, though, because I wanted to sit on the floor and cry with them by the end of it. I think that's when I realised that teaching kids was never going to be my vocation. I had some other classes as well, but quite soon after that I moved on to adults who cry slightly less. That was my first teaching experience, not the best.
Okay, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
What's your name?
My name is Kevin.
Kevin, and where are you from?
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, nice.
In the United States.
Wow, were you born in Phoenix?
Actually, no. I was actually born in New York because my parents happened to be living in New York at that time. My father was a Major League Baseball player, and the year I was born, 1971, he was playing with the Mets in New York City, and my birthday is in May 25th to be precise, and so my mother happened to be with my father in New York because it was baseball season. So I was actually born in New York, but I grew up in Phoenix. So Phoenix is what I consider to be my hometown.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you remember anything about New York?
Yes, actually I do have a few memories because we spent probably years there. From the time I was born, obviously, until I was about 2.5 or 3 years old, we spent the summers or the baseball seasons in New York. And we rented a condominium on the second floor, and I remember it was right across the street from LaGuardia Airport. And so, of course, when I was a little kid, 1 and 2 years old, I used to love sitting by the kitchen windows, and I even remember it was a bay window, the kind where you can roll the window open.
Yeah.
And I used to roll the window open and just watch the airplanes take off and land all day.
Wow.
And
that's cool.
Another memory I have is the couple that lived below us was an elderly couple, and they acted pretty much like our grandparents. So I actually called them Grandma and Grandpa. And Grandma Stevenson used to give me a bath in her kitchen sink because I was so small.
Wow.
That she would actually give me a bath in her kitchen sink, and I remember that as well.
Wow, those are good memories.
Okay, Conrad, you're quite the jock.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about sports.
All right.
What sports do you like?
Well, I like a lot of sports, but basketball is my favorite, definitely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been playing basketball?
Let's see, probably about 30 years. I'm 37 now, and I think I was in elementary school when I started to play it first.
Wow. At what age were you your best?
Oh, let's see, probably around 20, maybe. Sometime when I was in college, yeah.
Wow. What position did you play when you played basketball?
Guard.
Mm-hmm.
Guard, a little bit of forward, depending on what kind of team I was playing on.
Yeah. Were you mainly an offensive or defensive player?
Defensive. Yeah.
Okay. Do you still watch a lot of basketball on TV?
Well, now living in Japan, I don't get many chances to watch the NBA, but I do follow it on internet.
Okay. Basketball?
Yeah. I play about once a week at the university I work at with the club team there.
Okay. Great. All right. Thanks a lot, Conrad.
Sure. No problem, Todd.
Okay, Jamie. We're going to talk about movies.
Okay, great.
What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is kind of a heavy movie. It's called Sophie's Choice with Meryl Streep and Kevin Kline.
Okay.
It's a movie. It's set in World War II. Meryl Streep plays a Polish woman who has come to America, and she's met a man, Kevin Kline, who has a series of problems of his own, mostly psychological, which she's not 100% aware of. And she does a bunch of scenes where she thinks of the past and the very difficult decision she had while during the war, living in Poland. She had to decide between two children which one would be murdered by the Nazis and which one wouldn't. And it's obviously it's the ethical dilemma that she faced, that she had to make an immediate decision on, and affected her for the rest of her life.
Okay,
It's a fantastic movie. Not the story in itself. Of course, the story is brilliant, but the acting, the fact she speaks Polish, she speaks German, and she speaks English with a Polish accent, which is amazing. A writer who's actually a narrator through the movie as well. His character is great, and then Kevin Kline's basically a psycho character because he's a little bit deranged in itself. It's pretty neat. So all in all, the characters, the plot line, the movie, it's fantastic.
Okay, great. Sophie's Choice.
Sophie's Choice. It's I think actually won an Academy Award in 1985 or 84.
Okay, great. All right, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
Yeah, look at them all lean in as they want to hear this story. It starts out sickeningly sweet. I was in a musical, Cinderella, and I was Cinderella. And the guy who played the prince and I started to date. And we got pretty serious, and then he was trying to get rid of an ex who kept bothering him, and so he decided to come to Japan to teach English, and we, all during the summer, we had plans, you know, I would come and visit and all that kind of stuff. We were really excited about it, and he was a model at the agency, and at the same agency where I was an actor, and so we had the same agent. He went to Japan and was teaching. We were writing back and forth, looking forward to seeing you, all that kind of stuff, and I was having lunch with my agent one day and telling her that I had started taking Japanese and I had been planning out my trip and I was very excited about this whole thing, and she says, JJ, I don't know how to tell you this. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what? And she says, yeah, Richard's ex-girlfriend flew out to Japan and they got married.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Married. And
Oh, no.
Wow.
yeah.
How did you feel?
It's like I needed a ladder to get on a piece of paper, really. I mean, it was a devastating, you know, that first broken love kind of thing, but.
Did you hear from him afterwards?
Yeah, we were always just friends, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah, and so not only the adding the insult to the industry.
Yeah.
Is that what I meant to
Yeah.
say? Insult to injury was him saying that we were always just friends.
Okay, Devon, I hear that you took the train across Russia.
Yes, I started in Moscow, traveled through Russia, Mongolia, and ended up in China.
Wow. That's a long way.
Yes, it was. It took 3 weeks. I did it as part of a tour with 10 other people.
Man, that's a cool trip.
Mm-hmm.
That must have cost a lot of money.
It did cost a lot of money, but not a lot of people can say that they have done that.
Yeah.
So I researched the trip several months before I actually took it. A friend and I did it together, and there was one other American, and the rest of the people were from Switzerland.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What was the landscape like?
A lot of it was flat, and for miles around you could see absolutely nothing.
Really?
And as you got into Siberia, there was scattered trees, and when we got into Mongolia, you could see some camels every once in a while.
Oh, wow.
But besides that, there was a whole lot of nothing.
Wow. Just wild camels.
Wild camels around the drinking hole.
Really?
Yes, saw that more than once.
Man. So how did you eat on this train?
We stopped several times along the way, and upon every platform you could buy food that local people were selling. A lot of it consisted of dried fish and other types of Russian delicacies, and a lot of noodles that you heated up with hot water. Every train had hot water on it in every carriage, and so you were always able to make noodles if you were desperate.
So is this a luxurious train, or is it a pretty basic
It was pretty much the most basic you could get. There were no animals on board, but sometimes they were coal heated, so it was very basic.
Would you do it again?
Great question. Would I do it again? Yes, I would do it again, but I would wait several years to do it. One, because it does cost a lot of money, and two, because there are many other things to do, to see.
Okay. Great. Thanks a lot, Devon.
You're very welcome.